Hello, my name is Zach McGee, and I will be going through my lesson plan today of teaching how to properly get in a stance and just going through some basic drills on how to hit and just some different things to maybe help your process along. Because hitting is an imperfect system, but some things that can just try to clean it up a little bit, and this can be used for kids younger and select ball or rec ball all the way up to high schoolers, and even some college guys will use this. And first, this isn't going to be one where you just have to have balls or something or an NBA cage. This can be something that you can do looking at yourself in a mirror, or just something to practice on. Just the main mindset of getting yourself ready to be able to step in a box and hit. It's going to war with the pitcher and being able to beat him and not let them beat you. So it's also a mindset thing that you got to have. And that's one of the biggest things, just making sure that everything you have is already muscle memory, and that way you can clear your mind and get ready to hit. And so I think the first thing that we'll start on is just getting in a good stance, which can be different for everyone. I mean, you guys got like Kevin Youkilis from the Boston Red Sox a while ago, whose hands were way up here, and you got guys that are just normal, straight from the back, but they always end up in the same spot, which is something you can watch on their film, and you can see that they'll always end up in the same spot, and that's getting from contact from A to B, getting in that power swing. So we'll first get in the stance, and we'll just kind of get shoulder width apart and bat, just straight up here. I'm a guy, I like to have a little motion, like little circles in the bat, just to get a little rhythm in you. You don't want to just stand up here real stiff. You want to be able to move around. You don't want to be able to somebody just come up and push you and you just fall back. You want to be able to stand there, and you want to be in an athletic stance. You want to be an athlete. So get up here, shoulder width apart, bat head, circles around, make sure. And then, so that's step number one. Step number one is just getting in the stance. And there's about three steps to getting in a solid stance. And step number two will be your load and your stride. And then the third step will be the swing. So one, getting in a solid stance, shoulder width apart, being able to have a little rhythm, being able to good athletic stance, being able to hit anything that's come at you, and being in the mindset of that you're going to get a hit every single time. And that's one thing that I would do when I would step in a box is I'd try to picture myself, even though I don't play anymore. So I don't know how well this is going to be thought out, but being able to get, as soon as you step in the box, you visualize yourself hitting it right back at the pitcher, because that's where we want to go, stay middle, and you want to go gap to gap, which is left center, right center gap. And so just being able and just get into a stance, get your mind ready, focus on, and you can do these kind of drills at home and practice getting in your stance and loading and striding. That way, once you get in that box, you don't have to think about anything. You literally just get in there and you're ready to hit. That's what they say, the best guys just come out there and they just get up there and hit. And so there's no drill, there's no thing that I could tell you that you just got to, as soon as you get in that box, it's got to be muscle memory. You got to clear your head and you got to get in there and hit. So get yourself in a nice stance, get ready. And the load and stride part is all timing. So that's where a lot of people mess up, is their load and strides is timing part, because hitting's all about timing. You're trying to take a round ball and a round bat and hit it square. It's a weird sport. So you got to make sure that when you do it, it's got to be perfect timing, or else it's not going to go well. I mean, baseball's a sport where you fail 75% of the time and you end up in the Hall of Fame. So it's a rare, and it's also the only sport where you got 9 guys against 1. So you get up there, and the load and stride part, it's a simpler fact, but once people get up there and their mind starts racing, it's easy to be messed up. You just want to load back, stride, and you want to take this elbow and drive it straight into your hip. Drive those hands straight in, and then explode to the ball. And you want to create that power motion right there of getting it up here and then extending out. You always see guys, that little flip right there, that forearm flick, is where they hit the long balls. So you just want to be able to do that. And the load and stride is that small thing can create just a very weak hit ball or a swing and a miss to a ball that's out of the yard. So we'll continue to go on. So just be able to, so step one, we'll just go back over it every time. Step one, get in your stance, shoulder width apart, hand, get a little rhythm. Then load back up, stride, drive it in, make sure those hands come inside, and then explode right here, and then push out. I've always heard the story of, it's like baseball's a little hitting's a little like boxing. When a boxer comes and they punch, they don't want to just hit and stop. They don't just punch right there. They want to punch all the way through, and that's the same thing kind of when it comes to hitting. You want to get there and you want to get to the ball, and you don't just want to hit and stop. You want to hit and punch through it and then finish. And that's a big thing a lot of probably kids use, and maybe some adults. That's a lot of ones where the kids will just hit and start running, and it's an easy thing to fix, but you just got to be able to teach it to them. And so the swing is a little more difficult, but it's not at the same time. Hitting is just a weird concept. And so once you get to that, and you got that pitch coming, and it's a pitch that you want to hit, you just be sure when you're there, you drive and then you finish up. Now, the finishing of a swing can be, it's a personal preference. I mean, you can finish two hands up tie, one hand up tie. Guys finish like this, they swing straight to the ball. I mean, two hands, one hand, doesn't really matter. It's personal preference. As long as you take your bat straight to that ball and you hit all the way through it, and then you're out of the box and you're going. And we can go over some of the drills that you can just do in a mirror, and they're amazing. You don't need any equipment or any balls for people that just can't go out on a normal day with 100 baseballs and a $300 bat. So it's something you can do by yourself inside of a mirror, and you're watching. So the drill is, it's all about timing, and it's just a two-step drill just to work on your timing and get ready to hit. And you can do it in your mirror, and it's going to work on the stance, your timing, and the swing, and all of just this one little drill. And so what you're going to do is you're going to get in your stance, and you're going to watch into the mirror. And so I'm going to be looking at this way like a pitcher, but you would be watching yourself in the mirror. And so you want to go 1 and drive your hands down, 2, drive your hands down, and 3, and you want to swing all the way through. And you could do that, and I'll do it without the bat in case you don't have one and you want to do the drill. And then so you can either do it with snaps, because that'll help you get your timing down. You could be pretending to watch a pitcher and taking a mental rep and getting your timing down ready for that, ready to get in the box. So you go 1, 2, 3, and now you're all the way through. And so that's just one of the drills that you can do, and it's probably one of my favorite ones I've ever done, and it's one that's helped me a lot. It's a guy, one of my old coaches named Jim Page taught me that drill. He's a coach at Millsaps in Jackson. And another one that you can do is you can start, and a lot of people where they mess up is where they start with their back foot, and you got to make sure to pivot. And a lot of the negative connotation is that you want to squish a bug. Well, that has kids swinging all the way around outside of their foot, and that's backing it all the way up. What you want to do is you want to drive that knee. That knee is what's huge, and you want to drive that knee up top. And so what you could do, if you have anything to put in between your legs, or even if not, you could do it without it. All these drills you don't have to have equipment for. They can be done completely by themselves. So I'll do one with the bat and I'll do one without it. And so this next one, you want to take your knees. I'll kind of back over, you can kind of see. Let me just fix this, Professor, sorry. So you can kind of see my knees, and what we're going to do is kind of the same. It's kind of the same drill, but it's working bottom half, because you want to make sure that they're all working together. But these drills can be working separate things in case you have problems. You're not using your bottom half or something. Then the other one's up top for timing, and then this one can be working on driving that leg to create a little bit of power so you can start hitting the ball out of the yard. So what we're going to do is you're going to drive that knee right here, and you're going to have a ball or not, and then swing all the way through it. And it's just driving that knee into it and just creating that torque. And then that way, so you'll do about, I'd say do about 5 of those, and then get in there and start driving all the way through, all together as one unit. And so just a little bit of everything that we've covered. Just those 2 drills can go a really long way for young kids, or even up to adults that are having some issues and they don't really know what they're working and they just need something to try. And so just kind of going over just some of the stuff we talked about, just starting with stance. Be sure to get in a good stance, shoulder width, athletic stance, kind of chest up high, maybe a little squat, Brett Rooker, Triple Crown winner, home run leader at Mississippi State. He was more leaned over, and that's just a personal preference. There's a lot of guys that are stand up. So just be able to get in a comfortable stance that's comfortable for you. And then a little bit of the rhythm, load and stride. Make sure you drive that elbow into it. Drive those hands straight to the ball all the way. Explode through the ball. Make sure those hips are exploding through the ball as well, because it can't just be upper body. It's got to be lower. That's kind of why we did that second drill. Swing all the way through. Finish, it can be personal preference. You can finish one hand, 2 hand, high at the shoulder. And then some of the drills, we'll go back to them. First drill we talked about was the 2 snap drill, and that's just 1, 2, and swing through. Second drill we talked about was exploding the bottom half, and that's kind of the same one, but you want to just work your bottom. You just want to work that knee. That's the whole thing. Just exploding that knee can create so much more power than you used to. And so we're going to go 1, 2, and then explode through. And thank you. I don't really know how to end it.